Joining Australian Boxing Central today is none other than Justin Fortune, trainer of champions, of the strength coach from Manny Pacquiao. Justin, thanks for joining us. Great to have you.
Yeah, no problem, mate. Good to be here.
It's obviously been a pretty sort of chaotic time lately in I guess across the world, and none other than the US. Pretty crazy scenes over there, mate. How's everything on your end, mate? Obviously, gym's still closed, but a lot of sort of chaos happening in the US at the minute.
Yeah, it's calmed down a lot once they put the National Guard in and the police sort of started to, be a bit more forceful. Then, yeah, it calmed down a lot. And then the gym opens up on Friday. So, we're sort of back to work somewhat. You have restrictions and stuff like the rest of the place. But, it's summertime. It's the start of summer. So I think within a couple of weeks, it'll just sort of drift back into normality.
Yeah, I think it would be good to get back up and running. And, great news for all fighters and fighters as well to get back in the gym and obviously work towards their next fight and whatnot. What's it been like for your fighters? Obviously with a bit of time away, it's been difficult right now.
It's still with fights. The fights are still no audience. So for me, I think it's going to be tough. But they'll start to come back in. My Eric Priest, my 54-pounder, 60-pounder, he'll come back here on Monday. Andrei Fedosov, heavyweight, comes back from Russia in 2 weeks and he fights again in August. So, they're all starting to come back in. But fighters don't make me money. It's people I need in the gym that actually make me money.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it'll be great to have them back on this upcoming Friday. So, great news there. But I mean, what do you think the overall effect's going to be sort of once boxing does come back? Just obviously the COVID-19 situation is and we're seeing a few events happening with no crowd.
I mean, no crowd with not just boxing. It's a lot of events, no crowd. The Daytona was just on the weekend. There's like no crowd. It's just watching a bunch of cars go around a racetrack. Very strange. It's going to be tough, because the crowd is what gets your ass off the canvas a lot of the time. And the crowd is what inspires you to win as a fighter. I would find it very difficult to fight without a crowd. A lot of fighters will. It's some interesting. I think as it settles down a bit, then the crowds will start to come back. The smaller shows in California, I don't see any small shows going on for a while.
Yeah, definitely going to be tough. And I guess like that, like you said, atmosphere of a fight night, like I said, it does spur fighters on when they get knocked down or, they're in a difficult moment in a fight. I mean, with that in mind, how do you sort of think fighters are going to respond to that? And how long do you anticipate that events will go ahead where there will be no spectators? That's still like a time frame that the US government...
As long as they want to keep up this COVID-19 crap, and that's as far as it's going to go. They'll keep it as long as they can. It's difficult to say. Hard to say. I don't really agree with it, but that's just my fucking thoughts on it.
Yeah, well, we've obviously got two Aussies going over, or who are currently in Vegas at the minute. The Moloney brothers, they're looking to fight in the next few weeks. That's obviously some positive news. How many fight shows are currently scheduled off the top of your head, if you know? Is there many at this stage? I know Bob Arum is doing a couple.
Well, Bob's got a couple. There's a lot of fights scheduled because they set their schedules a year in advance because of TV dates and stuff like that. So once this corona thing hit, a lot of fights got cancelled. DAZN took a big hit in America, laid off a lot of people because there's no fights. It's going to hit. Listen, it's going to hit the country it's going to take a long time to recover from this. Economically, it's a big hit. It'll come back fast. We'll come back fast, but insane coming back fast. People have got bills. Taxes, mortgages, credit cards. There's no let up on those. There's no breather on your credit card. So that's what's going to hit boxing a lot. Because the tickets aren't cheap these days. and people have to mind their pennies. It's going to hit. I think it's going to hit sport a lot, unfortunately.
And I guess as well, fighters as well. I'm guessing there's going to be some reduced purses, so
It has to be. If the promoter's not, and the TVs and the promoter and the audience isn't there, then obviously, yeah, the purses are going to be reduced. That's inevitable. We can't, sort of expect the same wage going in with and then half the audience. It's not feasible. So, yeah, but
I
fighters fight. They have to fight. That's their job, and a lot of fighters don't have any backup. That's their job. So they have to fight, and they'll fight for whatever they have to.
And do you think it's going to pose a challenge for promoters and matchmakers with restrictions on international travel? I know New Zealanders may be able to fly into Australia.
You guys still quarantine people. They're not quarantining in America. I mean, but my fighters come over. They're not doing that over here. Going to Australia, I hear they're still quarantined for a couple of weeks. But not here.
So fighters are, from all over the globe are fine to come in, providing they pass, the necessary tests. Is that sort of the situation?
Yeah. Which is just inevitable. That's going to happen, and it needs to happen too. So.
Yeah. Moving on to the 8th division sensation, Manny Pacquiao, Justin. Tell us a little bit about Manny. Last time we chatted, he was, I think he was based obviously back in the Philippines training. What's the updates for Manny?
No, they're looking at November for Pacquiao. No opponent yet. And then many fights for the crowd, many fights for his people. So I think they will go wherever there's live audience. Pacquiao doesn't mind traveling anywhere to fight, and the people that fight Manny don't really at that level don't mind traveling either. It is what it is. So I would imagine wherever there's a live audience, wherever they can hold a live audience event, and that's where they'll fight.
I did see a report recently, not too sure how credible it may be, but in Bahrain, Manny Pacquiao potentially against Terence Crawford. Is there any truth in that? Is there? What can you tell us about
that? I don't know. I don't really know. That's all up to Gibbons and Manny, and I don't know if Manny will be doing business with Bob. In that, they split up for a reason. So Manny doesn't seem no great effort to run back to Bob, and he's with Hank, and he's his own promotion. So, and I think that's where he will probably stay. Terence Crawford's a good fighter, and Manny's getting on. But Manny's still. I still think I might be biased, but I still think Pacquiao beats Crawford. Crawford's good, but he moves in one direction, and he's never been hit by anyone as hard or as fast as Pacquiao. And look at the people Manny's fought, and look at the people Terence have fought. It's a massive difference, mate. Once Pacquiao hits you, then everything fucking changes. And these guys, and they don't, they all go in there, think, yeah. So I know Mike Tyson hits hard right up until he hits you, and it's like, now I'm in trouble. Same with Pacquiao.
And I guess no one better who found that out other than Keith Thurman when they fought most recently. That was obviously a lot of people wrote off Manny for that fight, but we saw he's still certainly got a lot of
I mean, that was a great Keith Thurman. Like I said before, that Keith Thurman beats anyone. That guy that night beats anyone in the 47s. It was an outstanding performance by Keith Thurman.
Another name that's been thrown about as a potential opponent for Manny Pacquiao is Mikey Garcia. Now, personally, I'd love to see.
For me, Mikey's a logical choice. Good fighter, great. Everyone wants him. Great fan base. That would be a great choice to fight Manny. But like I said, this is up to all these guys, Heyman and Pacquiao and Sean, and they give us the opponent, and we train for it. We adjust his training to what needs to be done with the opponent.
Does Manny sort of speak about anyone in particularly like that, or is it just a case of the best? He'll sort of face who he's sort of told the best opportunities at.
Just give him the best. I mean, Manny's never ducked a fight ever. on anybody. You know, so he's where he is because he is who he is, and he doesn't duck fights, and he fights the best. That's it.
I did see another report recently, Justin. I think it was quoted from former trainer Freddie Roach about talking about a potential fight with Triple G. Now, that's obviously a big surprise to many. Obviously, at
With
with
Manny,
Manny, yes, I did see a couple of reports there.
and Triple G is a 60-pounder. Okay.
I agree. I
Last
think
time
that's
Manny fought was at 54 was
Margarito.
Margarito. And Manny said many times, he's not going back up to 54. He said they punched way too hard. It's like, come on, man. Yeah, fighting Triple G.
I was a little bit surprised seeing it myself, but I had to ask. Obviously, boxing fans would go crazy if that matchup did happen, but probably not.
It's unrealistic. It's like, well, he's a 47-pounder fighting a 60-pounder. That's not. What's the point? You know. And Triple G, he's moving on and stuff like that, but he's a 60-pounder and he punches very hard, and so is Pacquiao. But there's 20 pounds weight difference, and bigger guy, and it's not even. Maybe Fred was just shit stirring, mate.
Yeah, I've got a feeling, mate.
Oh.
Tell me a little bit about, I guess, Manny's conditioning at this stage, Justin. Obviously, a little bit difficult when you're not able to sort of work side by side with him currently. What type of discussions do you guys have? Do you watch any of his workouts? Are they recorded?
Yeah, Manny. Listen, that's the best thing. That's why this guy never gets burnt out, because he's not boxing all day, all the time. When he's off periods, he's off, so he'll stay fit. In the form, he'll play a ton of basketball. He'll run. He'll do other stuff. You can't train off a fight and then train. It doesn't work. I mean, you get bored out of your brain. You go off to do another thing. He stays fit. I mean, he plays hours and hours of basketball, and not just like goofing off. It's competitive games, and that's how he stays fit. And his mind's away from boxing, so when he comes back into a boxing fight, he's fresh. You walk back in after boxing like 3 or 4 months in your downtime, back in the gym to start a boxing training camp. You're like, dude, I've just been doing this for 3 or 4 months. It's like, no, he comes back into a camp fresh. That's what he's always done. And that's what I like. That's why we ask. Yeah, that's great. It's perfect. What we need to do.
And as he's sort of gotten older, as the years have gone on, Justin, what sort of changes have you sort of made to his, strength and conditioning program? Obviously, you may have to sort of change it up as fighters get older. What are some of the main changes, say, in the last 5 years or so?
It's just not so much. We don't change. Yeah, I do change a few things. I mean, I know my fighter, and I know most of my fighters, so I just pull them back, and it's just about controlling on how much they train, and then the things that are relative to the fighter we're fighting, we train for that as well. Um, and maybe for someone like Manny, it's just keep an eye and make sure he doesn't go too far or burn out. And sport that's just it's specific for the guy we're fighting. So you have a runner, we train one way. We have a fighter, we train one way. Well, they're just different. We adjust the training regime to the guy we're fighting. And then just keep an eye on your fighter. Just don't burn the hell out. And the best thing about Pacquiao camps is we train hard and we work hard and we have a shitload of fun. So and it keeps it fresh and makes him want to go to training, and he enjoys training because if training's boring or you have a bored fighter, I mean, what's the point? You won't get 100% out of them. That's in any sport. And that's what you're
And
after. They try to achieve 100% out of your fighter or your athlete.
and is Manny one of those fighters where you feel a huge part of your job is to pull him back? Is he always setting? Is he always pushing the bar as far as his workload,
Yeah,
or is he?
he'll push it. He gets into a rhythm, and you actually got to pull him back and stop him. It's not a bad job to have. I mean, we have an athlete that actually have to stop him from training. Most athletes, get on and keep him training. Pacquiao, you actually got to stop him, pull him back, and then rest him in the appropriate times and adjust the training schedules to you trust my strength and work condition work to his spine And so one day we might have a super hard sparring, one day we're doing 6 rounds or 8 rounds or 10 rounds. You have to adjust. It's all just an adjustment and changing. It's changing all the time. So, and you have to keep an eye on your fighter. It's not just Manny; it's all my other fighters too. It's the same as them, same thing as them. You know?
And Manny, what is it? It was 41, 42? How old Manny? Yeah, 41.
42 this December.
So, 42, still, a current active world champion. What is it? We know what Manny brings as far as his skill set and where he's standing in boxing. But I guess what is it that sort of allows him to still be at his best? Still, in his early 40s, which we all know that at that point in a fighter's career, they're generally on a rapid decline. What do you think Manny's been able to do?
In the lighter divisions, they are. And there's a few heavyweights out there who can just keep going to the mid to late 40s. But the lighter divisions, it's very rare to see someone at 41 at Manny's level and staying and competing and beating people at that same level. No, he's just a freak, man. Well, you know what? He's been given gifts that that's it. He's just a freak. They all have him. I mean, you got Kobe Bryant and Jordan and all baseballs and footballs and rugby league guys. Everyone's got every sport has their freak athlete that go up above and beyond in their sport, and Manny's ours.
Takes a good trainer as well. That'd be
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah, it takes a good trainer. And it takes a relationship between your athlete and your trainer, um, and adjustment to know your fighter or your athlete really well, and then win the fight game, win the hurt business. So they put a lot of faith in you because you're putting your ass out there to get beat up. So there's a lot of trust there too. That's just the way it is. You have to build it.
And moving forward for Manny, how many fights do you think he's got left, Justin? I mean, it's nearly 42. Is there more than one out there? Is there an end date?
Obviously, he would have had 2 this year if it wasn't because of this Corona bullshit. Maybe one this year and one next year. Then I don't know what he's doing with work politically. It'll change after that. But just, I mean, say you fight at 40, say you get a fight this year, and if a couple of titles or 1 or 2 titles up for grabs, he'll win them. What else is there to do? I mean, dude, you can't unless you want to go up and do something stupid like fight Triple G. But man, he's not that stupid. So
Because I do wonder, Justin, what is Manny's motivation at this point in his career? Like you said, he's done it all. There's nothing left for him to do in boxing.
He loves it. He absolutely loves it. Yeah. It's a release for him. But he actually really loves the sport.
I did read a report also that said that Manny might be running for president in the Philippines in 2022. Now, if that is the case, we're a year and a half away from then, so maybe 2 or 3 more fights max. Do you think that's a natural progression for Manny?
If he does run for president, he's got to spend. So that's 2022. Where are we? 2020. He'd have to campaign most of 2021. So that would be one fight, depending on what sort of campaign he's doing. And then the elections are 2022, so that'll be like 2. But, who the hell knows? He'll probably win presidency because he's that bloody popular over there. And then, it'd be a good laugh if you became the president of a country and you want to have another fight.
Exactly.
That would be an absolute first ever.
Well, it does pose the question, Justin. I mean, obviously, in boxing, Muhammad Ali is obviously known as probably the greatest humanitarian or the greatest name to come out of boxing for what he's done outside of boxing. Surely Manny's name's up there.
Listen,
maybe.
Ali was Ali and stuff, but no one will ever do what Pacquiao has ever done ever again. So in relation to that, he has to go down as the greatest fighter in history. Ali was a great humanitarian, so is Pacquiao. He gives so much back to his country and his people. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? But like I said, Ali was a heavyweight and always was a heavyweight. and that's it. Pacquiao came from like 112 all the way through. I mean, no one's ever going to beat this guy. So in that, um, you'd have to go down as top one, no, or top three in history as fighters when he finishes.
For sure. I mean, in my point of view, certainly right up there. If not, potentially when his career's finished, we might sort of talk about him in even greater depths. And Muhammad Ali.
Obviously, listen, the guy who fights Mike Garcia for a title, and then he fights someone else next year for another title. Then you got like 12 or 13 world titles in 8 different divisions. I mean, it's phenomenal. What he's done now is phenomenal, and no one will ever achieve the same thing. But he picked up another couple of titles along the way. What the hell?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, and I think, did you say November's the date where he'd be looking at
November? They're throwing that around because obviously he has Senate duties and stuff there. So they're usually the times. Twice a year we fight. Around November and April, May, June we fight. But obviously this time we couldn't because of COVID.
Yeah, hopefully there's a announcement soon. We'd love to see him against a few different opponents, but certainly one to watch out for. I also saw that a big heavyweight fight, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, could potentially be coming to Australia. What do you think of that, Justin? Is that possible?
From Australia, I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. I don't know if Wilder would come. Oh, maybe, I don't know. Again, they're probably in the same boat too. They know the importance of an audience. If Australia has a live audience, then why the hell not? They'll go where there's an audience, because these fights at these levels, that's what you need. That's what you live off. That's what you fight off, is an audience and a crowd. But, no crowd, but like a big giant sparring session.
And I think with obviously back here, I think events may be the first across the world to sort of be open back up again. I did see Bob Arum did say that the desire to have a big fight like that in front of a live audience is preferred. No audience, of course.
It's not Bob. I mean, Bob knows as well. He's been promoting forever. The fighters would want it. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's just tough not to face a fight without a crowd. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd be fucking just. That's what you need. That's what you work on. That's where your energy comes from. Out of the crowd too. You pull a lot of energy out of the crowd, good or bad.
For sure, definitely would love to see that happen. Fingers crossed, but it does.
Tszyu and Horn fighting pretty soon, isn't it? Not Horn. Yeah, Horn.
I think a date is still to be announced, but yeah, that's another one we want to see.
Haven't set it yet.
What's that?
They haven't set the date yet.
I haven't seen a date set as of yet, but yeah, once events are sort of given the all clear, I think that'll sort of take place as soon as possible. But yeah, not sure about that fight. Obviously, a bit of a 50-50, that one. A lot of people think Tim Tszyu's ready. A lot of people think Jeff Horn's on the decline. I did see a shake of the head.
I'm not a Horn fan, period. But Jeff's got too much experience for Tim, and his style of fight is not something Tim doesn't know anything about. So.
Do you think it's just a stylistic nightmare for Tim Tszyu, or is it?
I think Tim is too soon for someone like to fight Horn. He's been with some great fighters. He lost to Crawford, so what? He's still, he's learned a shitload. Even when you lose, you learn tons. Probably learn more. You're in there with Pacquiao, and then Tim Tszyu's not ready for Jeff Horn yet. Doesn't matter how old people say Horn is; it's just experience. And stylistically, when Horn gets on your chest, that's where he fucking stays. Headbutts, hip shots, ball shots. He don't give a fuck. And Tim, I really don't think Tim. I know for a fact Tim doesn't know how to fight on the inside, and doesn't know how to fucking control. Doesn't know how to clinch. Doesn't know how to do any of that sort of stuff. So
I know.
I just think it's too soon for Tim to get thrown in with Horn. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of people do think it could be a bit soon for him, but in saying that with his prestigious last name, a lot of people do believe that he's cut of
Yeah,
this.
it's a prestigious last name, but he's not his dad.
That's right. It's a bit.
Freaking legend. So Costa was a great, great, great fighter with two-time world amateur champion, stuff like that. So come on, I mean, you work off your dad's name. That's great, and learn as much money as you can in this business and get the fuck out of it with as much money as you can. And your brains intact. Good luck to it. It's at a certain time it's like a big chess game, and you maneuver and move your chess or your player to the best positions and the best advantages where you make the most money or score the best result. You know?
Well, what route do you think Tszyu should take other than Jeff? If that's the fight he shouldn't take, should he be looking at?
Well, he's in the States. I trained Tim, sorry, and the offer was open. The only offer only stays open fucking once. You know what I mean? If you don't take it, it's all right, fuck off. There's plenty of other people out there. There's 10 other fighters behind you that actually want to and will do it. I think he should be in the States and learning his craft a lot more and becoming a better fighter. You can't stay in Sydney and expect to fight on a world level. You know what I mean?
What did you make of
Everyone we put in there was sorry, okay. How many guys you seen come out to get ranked with the PABA or the OPBF and put you top 12 in the world, and then you jump on the world stage, you fight for a world title, and you're like, oh shit. And they've been beaten. Last couple of years, I think just about fucking everyone's been beaten. You come overseas to fight. So it's like, and it's not like they don't even make the effort to do a training camp in the US for like 8 weeks. Which I don't understand, but whatever.
Well, I actually spoke with George Kambosis yesterday, and he spoke very highly of the experience he's had in training in America. I think since he was about 10-0, he's now 18-0, and obviously he's now positioned himself in a spot where he's certainly a sort of world title contention. Do you think more Aussie fighters need to just go down that path?
Well, he did. Listen, George Kimber, I was with George for a long time, and he did the right thing. He came over and he learned his craft. I did it. Fucking, I mean, what the fuck, dude? You can't stay in Australia where you're kidding yourself. You stay in Australia and you expect to fight on the world stage and stay in training and fucking fight in Australia. It doesn't fucking work, mate. There's only 26 million people in Australia. There's 340 million fuckers in the US. Do the math. There's like 400 registered fighters in Australia. There's 4,000 registered fighters in California.
Yeah. Just shows you right there.
In California. It's like, wake up. If you want to compete at that level and be successful, then you need to at least do training camps over here. What's wrong with going doing a 8-week training camp? It's all tax deduction. It's an expense.
Yeah.
So, which is
are your doors open, Justin, for any top Australian fighters that want to come and spar with some of the
I think Zarafa's coming over and stuff like that. Yeah, anybody. I mean, my door's open to anyone from Australia who wants to come over and learn the trade. And you're more than welcome to come to the gym and I'll show you what I can because we're fucking Australians. But like, don't sit there and bitch and complain. Oh, we're going to beat by this guy when you don't want to take the effort to come over to here with and learn your trade. And that's what it is, mate. You know? It's an apprenticeship.
There you go, Aussie boxers. Justin Fortune just put it down. Aussie boxers who want to get to world title level, you got to go to America. You got to spar these top level guys.
Well, you go to America or you go to England. You go where the fighters are and where the top level fighters are, and you'll soon find out in a training camp in America whether you can cut it. Or you can't.
Because they're not going to come to Australia, are they? These guys are going to stay.
They're not coming to Australia. They're not coming. Why would they come down there?
Come for a holiday. Is that it?
Come for a holiday. They'll never come home. But then there's no boxing. If there's Aussies that want to come over, shit, man. Come over. I'll fucking show you what I can show you. Just because you're Australian, and I love my country, I love my athletes, I love my boxers. and I'll show you what I can show you. If you're a dick, I'll tell you to fuck off in a heartbeat. But, and I don't give a shit. And but if you want to come and train hard and learn, yeah, absolutely. If you don't want to learn, you're a lazy fuck. Get the fuck out of here. Somebody say to these pricks over here. So if you don't want to train, go somewhere else, mate. I don't want to waste my time. I'm 54 years old. Why the fuck do I want to waste my time?
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'd love to see more Aussie boxers going over to the US, applying their trade and get better. That's all about. So, and I guess also for Aussie boxing to elevate as a boxing economy too. Very hard if you, like you said, just staying in your own backyard, sparring the same people.
It's not. It's impossible, mate. And now we had some great. We still have some great fights. We have some great athletes. For such a small country, we produce some fucking phenomenal athletes. And if you don't expand, you have that opportunity. I can take it.
100%. 100%. Well, I guess that wraps us up for today, Justin. Always great to catch up, mate, and share your insights on, obviously boxing in America, strong boxing. We obviously touched on the 8 legend Manny Pacquiao, and obviously all that's happening in boxing across the globe, Justin. So always a pleasure having you on Australian boxing.
Always, mate. Always, yeah. Like I said, think about it. They say that you're a fighter and stuff. You want to expand on your learn your trade, then doors are open.
Fortune Boxing Gym in Hollywood, is that right, Justin?
Right in Hollywood, right on Melrose, where all the bullshit went off the other night. Fucking shootings, fights, and crap. I'm like, dude, I'm in Melrose, not in fucking South Central. What the fuck? Unbelievable.
It's all happening, mate. It's all happening. Well, you stay safe.
Go over here, brother. That's for sure.
You stay safe, mate, and catching up. Always great catching up, and we'll do it again very soon. You take care, and thanks for joining Australian Boxing Central as always.
Take care of yourself. Cheers, mate.